Great to see you. Hello there and welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. I'm here with him. Anger is not sufficient to remove Ruto from the office of the president. Prof has said that so many times, and I met so many of you, and you tell me, what does Prof actually mean? Kenyans are angry and Kenyans will take Ruto out. I'm here with him. Great to see you. How are you?
Fine, fine. Very good.
What do you mean? Anger is not sufficient. Isn't the country angry? Isn't the economic situation horrible? Our education system horrible? And everyone is saying Ruto must go. Even NIS, they're saying, hey, this chance have become too much.
You know, the situation was worse in the run-up to the first multi-party election, after many years, of 1992. The situation had been worse than we are going through now. But that wasn't enough to remove Moi from power. In 1992, Moi bounced back. The same way Ruto can bounce back. In 1997, with all the anger, with all the suffering, with all the pain, Moi bounced back. He won his election, his last term in office, under the recalibrated constitution. There was anger worse than today. If you saw Kenya on the 7th of July, 1990, the famous Sabasaba, then you'll know what you are calling anger here is nothing. I was in Uhuru Park, present, when Kibaki was being sworn in. Yote yawezekana bila matope Moi alitupiwa. I was there. It was things were flying over my head, trying to reach Moi's motorcade, and he's coming to hand over power to Kibaki. So when you talk of anger, what anger? There's no anger here now.
The invasion of
If
parliament.
you talk of suffering, my friend, there were days in this country, even in your own house, you couldn't even talk to your wife. You look around. Special branch was everywhere, including your house. University halls of residence and lecture theaters were full of special branch. The streets shoe shine. Unapigwa na mtu rangi na special. So what anger are you talking about? This was a police state. That wasn't enough to remove Moi in 1992. And I said it. I told people Moi is going nowhere.
What conditions are sufficient?
I don't want to say about Ruto because people will beat me.
I know, but what conditions are sufficient, for us or for you to believe that now Ruto is going?
When I see how organized the opposition is, when I see how organized, I'm yet to see it. My friend, the mood in the country in 1990-91 going to 92, what, you can't compare that to now. If Moi was able to split the opposition, na Ruto ni nani kwanza? Wewe unajua Ruto kweli? Ama unamsikia tu? Wewe unajua Ruto? William Samoei sijui Kipchirchir Arap Ruto. Unamjua kweli ama unamsikia tu?
So if you look at Kalonzo, Gachagua, Martha, the way they are teaming up.
Hii ni mboga gani kwa Ruto?
Is it that kwa Ruto, or is it that they haven't shown Kenyans that they are?
But they are dealing with Ruto and Raila. I'm yet to see organization that can convince me you can deal with Raila and Ruto.
But where does he get the votes? That is the question.
Yeah.
We sit here with Willis and he says, get everyone in this room and ask them who will vote for Ruto. No one will say they will vote for Ruto.
If you want to know, and I'll tell Willis, I'm a Kalenjin in some ways. I also, where I come from, we live with the Kalenjin. That's a fact. You've seen Kinachui. Then, even then, if it's not even in my location, because they are in my location, my neighbors are Kalenjin. I come from Hamisi. Hamisi has Luyas and Kalenjin, the Terek. But even if you ignore that, you cross the road, and the road keeps going zigzag. You don't know when you are in Rift Valley, you don't know when you are in Western. That is Rift Valley. So surely I know a bit of the Kalenjin people. I can tell Willis, if he goes to Rift Valley, as some of us go for functions, Koito, what have you, so within, inside, hapana hii ya madukani, ile embedded inside, the people are saying what everybody is saying. They are unhappy with Ruto. They are angry with Ruto. They are annoyed with Ruto because they are suffering like all other Kenyans. I have a simple question for you and by extension for Willis. Are you telling me they will not vote for Ruto? That should be a test. You know, when you are explaining your case, I'm a teacher, you use extremes as examples. The Kalenjin today who are as mad with Ruto as the rest of us are you telling me they won't vote for Ruto? So they will vote for Ruto. Yeah.
And now
you can vary that across the country according to scale. Where scale will be determined by manipulation and other forces of politics.
But this
For example, if people are annoyed you are in Nyanza and you are Raila, and you support Ruto, and you campaign for Ruto, you are Raila Odinga, and that is 2027. They respect you. They will vote for Ruto. But what will the numbers look like? Those who don't want Ruto may not openly speak about it because they respect you, Raila, and they also fear for their life. Boys can beat them, so they can keep quiet. So they will not go and vote. So that you are Raila, but you are only pushing 50% of Luo votes to Ruto. I don't know whether you are saying.
I'm getting you.
So, what normally happens in politics, and I want to explain this to Kenyans. You take two major sides. One side is driven by anger. They are progressive. They believe in the cause so much. They think things will work the way they should work. The other side doesn't have as many numbers as this side. So let's say now the opposition will have numbers, huge numbers. This side has few numbers. What they do is they consolidate their few numbers, get hold of them, and make sure all of them vote. These ones who are annoyed, most of them just make noise, and a good number of them don't go and vote. So these people who had few numbers like Moi, they are so tightly put together, they are hardened and they all go and vote. So that Moi is now winning with 30% of the votes or less. These guys, first of all, they don't turn out in the numbers they should turn out, number one. Number two, they are easily divided. So low turnout and division among them. The man with fewer votes gets to win. So Ruto can have about, let's say 15 million people vote. And Ruto has, let's give him very few numbers. 15 million people have voted. So Ruto has 5 million genuine people have voted for him. 5 million genuine people who will vote for him anytime, under any circumstance. And they all turn out because he's under threat.
Yes.
What Karl Marx calls conflict orientation something. When people are under threat, they hard together, they join together, they stick together because they are under threat. So the Ruto camp is under threat. They are not oblivious to this noise and this anger. They can feel it. So they are going to hard together and be one block, and all of them go and vote like 5 million. Sisi tuko na 10 pande. Tuko na ngapi? 10. Bado sasa he has his 5 million genuine, organic. Then he manipulates through political manipulation, and there's nothing wrong with that. It varies from society to society. Here it's even money is used, whatever, but it's called political manipulation. Through political manipulation, he gets, say, 2 million for the argument's sake. How many does he have now? 7. They are still 8.
Yes.
Through division, even if it's the Gachagua votes last election, through division, assuming these people really stay together, they see Kenya is lost. So they agree to back Kalonzo, for example. But through manipulation and games of division, at least one of them stands and brings home 700. The guys are ahead by 3 million. Assuming now 3 million. Ahead by only 300,000. Only 300?
300,000.
Through confusion and other forces, there is apathy. And a few of them don't vote. Who is winning now the presidency?
Remember, we have a 50+1 in our new constitution.
Yes. Who is winning?
It's supposed to be Ruto, number one, but will he become president? Because he needs to have
50% of
+1.
those who have voted.
+1.
Of 15 million, you need to be to 7.5 million +1 vote.
Yes.
He's already there. He's getting there. Because, remember, there will be numbers I've explained which will not have voted this side. So our 15 does not necessarily mean
it can
15.
go to 14.
Yeah, to 14. He already has 7. So.
Do you envision that situation in 2027, especially now when you look at how woke the voters are, especially who could have believed Kenyans would have protested because of a finance bill that much?
You know,
do you think Ruto can have that block that sticks with him? And you know, we're talking about 6-7 million voters.
The block he will have, this Kenya, I've told you he has his own people, right? So there's a block of people he'll have across the country. Even in the worst of time, Moi still got votes across the country. Yeah. Not many, but they were there. You go to Nyanza and get annoyed that people have voted for Moi. In my home area, when everybody was out of Kibaki, I'll give you a good example. In 2007, it was almost 41 minus against 1. It was very bad. But do you know how many people in Hamis voted for Kibaki? 10,000. I think around 10,000. So they will always have pockets. So Ruto will get his people, this traditional base, across the country. And remember, in any election, in any country, there are always those undecided voters, those battleground states. So something like Coast. Coast have nothing in this election. When Raila is not running, they really have nothing. So it's the man with the best manipulative skills who will get a majority of the votes called. Your guess is as good as mine. Ruto will sweep over Coast. Because they don't have anything in this election. Ruto will land at the coast. And I'm telling people who are saying, oh, anga Manyora. Ruto atachafua hiyo Coast atapata 60% of the votes. Mutaanza kulia mtasema ameiba.
You know, there are two things that happen in times and elections. There are people like you who create this narrative that make people believe that their votes will not count.
Yeah, it's dangerous. That's why I'm now going to tone down, because people are going to hate me for nothing. So I'm going to tone down, but let this be the last time I'm telling Kenyans. And they should listen to me. But I will not say it again. Because people stop me and want to slap me.
Because
there's a guy who almost punched me at the club the other day.
This narrative you're creating.
And I'm serious. The guy almost punched me. And he said exactly what you are saying. After I had explained to him. I was explaining to people there, and then he just stood up and almost punched me. He explained it the way you are saying. The point I want to make to Kenyans, very humbly, is that if you underrate Ruto the way we underrated Moi, you'll be in for a rude surprise, for a rude shock.
So what's your advice?
My advice?
To Manyora, Kalonzo?
I want to see the opposition, if they want to beat Ruto, I want to see them organized. More organized than they are. But for Kenyans, they must also be aware that Ruto is not a pushover. Ruto with Raila is lethal. This is lethal. You must be aware of that. Do not underrate your opponent. The first mistake you make in any match is to underrate your opponent. Anybody underrating Ruto, when it comes to 2027, may be writing his own obituary, political obituary. Don't underrate Ruto. Work towards defeating him, knowing that he's not a person you can beat easily. And don't be convinced that anger is enough. Channel that anger into action. The people are angry and mad, but the leadership in the opposition must harness that anger and make good use of the anger to remove Ruto from power. Otherwise, I have seen situations on the ground where everybody is saying so and so, and they are not going to vote. None of them is going to vote. But there's a lot of excitement in the area. When the results come out, the guy who was being hyped, has lost badly. Because when everybody is singing somebody, you think everybody is voting for them. You don't even see the need for yourself going to vote. Hiyo tumeshinda tayari.
That's what we saw with Raila.
Yeah, hiyo tumeshinda.
2022.
Yeah.
Everyone was thinking Raila has won because of Uhuru.
Yeah. So some people even didn't go and vote because they knew hii kitu tumechukua.
Especially Nyanza.
Hii kitu tumechukua.
So
mimi nikifungua macho wa Kenya wanafikiri mimi nawakosea. Mimi nawafungia macho na waambia msiende kulala eti kwamba watu wamekasirika na Ruto. Hiyo kura kidogo Ruto ako naye ataitumia vizuri. Hizi nyingi mko nazo za hasira hizi, msipozitumia vizuri, hii yake kidogo 10 bila break.
I don't know whether manipulation will work this time round. Thanks for tuning into this conversation. I know the narratives profs bring, I hope they don't persuade you to vote otherwise or not to vote. Thanks for tuning in. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.